Welcome to the Elusive Truth with Rich and Larry. Well, we have a crazy one for you today. Just two goofy old men talking about this insane clown world that we live in. What's really bad is that some of this stuff is actually true. I hope you realize, just like in life, anything is possible and anything can happen. So with this podcast, have an open mind. You never know. Do some research. Look into what's going on in this world. You know, if you get a laugh out of it, even better. But again, take it with a grain of salt. This is just crazy stuff. And with that, we have Larry. He's got a lot to say. Have a listen. Let's go down that rabbit hole.
All right, welcome. Nice to see you again, Larry. This is awesome. You always have some good news for us. And then on top of that, you got a new report for us from Phil Godslewski 2.0 on Rumble, so we can verify all this stuff.
Oh, yes. He did a rapid fire, a Q&A of questions coming through on his screen. And he only answers them, they have to be worded in a yes or no question. And so it's pretty much this is yes or this is a no.
And we're still trying to figure out where he gets all this information from. He's got to be pretty up there because...
he is somebody, that's for sure.
He's got some crazy information that seems like it's aligning with everything that's going on in this world.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
All right, well, fire away. What's the first thing you got?
Well, we were talking about coming up in, 5 days? 9/11?
Oh, 9/11, that's right. So the only thing I heard about 9/11 is that our fearless leader, if you want to call him that, old Biden, apparently he can't make it for the ceremonies or the festivities that he's got planned because he's got to go back on vacation.
So that'll be the first time a U.S. president didn't go to New York City on that day as a memorial. And I don't really know what something could be.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it could.
Because anything could happen.
Yeah. No, and then people asked him, what date are we going to have in EBS? He said, I don't have a date for you, but it is 100% confirmed it's happening.
So something's supposed to happen on September 11th.
No, not on September 11th. I switched dates. On September, something is expected to happen, he said.
All right, so just to make sure, something to happen on September 11th because of all this New World Order stuff. Or something.
Just something.
So we don't know, but that's coming from Phil. That was one of his first talking points, right? That something's going to happen on September 11th, yes. 2023.
Correct.
But we don't know what it is, and the only thing we know is Biden is not going to be there.
Right. And, it could just be a statement of disclosure of what maybe really happened on 9/11, if they're going to go that deep.
Oh, I was thinking something more like a DEW in New York City.
No, not a really scary event.
More of an enlightening event.
It could be.
Okay, that would make sense.
He said
okay.
Expect something. So if it was really a terror event, I don't think he'd be saying expect it yet.
Wow.
But, yeah, Phil is really got some great intel. And you said just go to Phil Godslewski Rumble 2.0. And you get all the verification and get connected there with Phil. It would be a good thing to do.
Nice. Wow. See, that's already crazy as it is, but... we don't want to get into that because I don't even like talking about Biden. He's just drives me nuts every time I see him. And every time he tries to talk, it's just worthless. So.
And his little sidekick talks sometimes.
The sidekick?
Kamala.
Oh, my gosh, Kamala. And that brings me up the latest.
You don't even want to hear that.
Well, she says she's ready to be president now. She's ready to take command. She's been waiting in the wings, and she's all set for this. And that little rhyming lady don't know anything.
Biden will be out real soon. He will be out real soon. And the military has said they are taking over the White House.
The military is?
Yes. Our U.S. military will take over the White House.
Wow. Because the only thing that I've heard so far is that I guess they want to move forward with impeachment things for Biden because the more stuff that's coming out with we started out with the laptop, which the media tried to discount right off the bat. But then all these phone conversations and these emails that coming back to haunt Hunter Biden and the Bidens because he doesn't do anything, but the 10% goes to the big guy stuff, it's...
Actually, Biden has so many crimes he's committed as a senator, as a vice president, and as a president. It's amazing. And they said, what were the crimes Trump ever committed? Because basically, he's never committed a crime. Trump has never committed a crime.
Well, nothing is erroneous as that's been going on from what we're finding out.
Yeah.
From Pelosi making millions off of stock trades. That's just the tip of the iceberg, but all the stuff. And what's going on with Mitch McConnell? That guy can't even speak without freezing up.
He did it twice.
And then right after, the doctors, he's fine. But yet they turn around and goes, Trump needs to take an IQ test and a mental evaluation because he's getting old himself. Oh. It's not even close to what Biden does.
Not at all.
And that latest gaffe where he was doing the Medal of Honor recipient, right? And he just put the medal on it and just walked away.
Yeah.
And then you got the crazy press secretary, Jean-Pierre Cardin, or whatever his stupid name is. He was just distancing himself. So he didn't want to give COVID to anybody because you heard Jill, his Dr. Jill got COVID.
Dr. Jill, she's going to Gitmo. She's on the list. For sure. She's complicit in a lot of these crimes. So,
dude, it'd be so nice if we have any affirmation of this because it is just horrible.
There was just a lot of great intel Phil had on this, yes or no. You ought to go to it.
Well, the crazy thing is, like we were talking earlier about Obama and his White House chef that was found in the pond next to the place that he's an avid swimmer, but that's coming back out again. And the latest thing I saw was that Biden and Obama shared pedophilia bracelets with the Pizzagate stuff, which linked us to why they got rid of the chef because he knew about all this pizza stuff. Thousands, like $64,000 worth of pizzas and hot dogs were ordered.
He was a liability, knowing too much.
It's just amazing that all the stuff that's coming out.
They had to oust him.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So, not to take away from you.
No worries, but speaking on Obama, the question was asked: is Barack Obama gay?
Well, and that at first I was like, no way, but then I've seen so many different articles, so many different things about Obama, and when he was a senator and in college, he was a risque business dude. He was ordering coke. He's doing crack, and then he's, doing fellatio on people, or they're doing it onto him. I mean, I don't know where all this came from. And because, I never met the guy. I never went to a party with him, but the stuff that's coming out is just so far over the top. It makes you think everything's crazy. But the thing is that the more people are talking about it, the more it's real. Just like the pictures of Michelle or Mike Obama, whatever you want to call him or her, or it has gotten so crazy in this world, I can't even tell you what's going on.
Well, and actually his question was, is Obama gay? And he said, well, he's been living with Michael all these years. So I guess, it's coming out to even be calling Michelle Michael.
I know. It's what's the craziest thing. And all you got to do is just go on the net. And I know you can't trust everything on the net, but when you have several different sources repeating the same thing, something's not right. I mean, something's going on. This is, obviously we don't trust the mainstream media because of who owns all them. But all these independents are coming out and verifying things that people don't want to agree with. They don't want to think Obama's gay. They want to think he's the greatest black president ever. What did he do for the black people? Nothing. What did he do with the white people? Nothing. He sold the soul of America.
He's got major crimes of humanity on his blood on his hands. Yes, indeed.
That is unbelievable.
Speaking of dead people.
So what's your
go right down the line.
What's your list of this? This is.
We know George Soros is already dead.
What? I was hoping he would, because he's the mastermind.
Yes, we know.
Do we know when that was happened, or we just assume that he's been taken out?
I don't know the dates on that, but he's been taken care of. Hillary Clinton, the real Hillary, not this one that's out there being a double for her. Real Hillary's been dead. the real Oprah dead.
See, and that's crazy because I can't tell you what old Oprah and new Oprah look like. But I just know that Oprah and The Rock were getting blasted for asking for donations for the victims of Maui when Oprah could single-handedly fix that whole island herself.
Oh, and The Rock.
Yes, The Rock, he's got some money.
In the billion-dollar categories.
Yeah, they're showing their true colors when those two get together. Hate to say that, though, because I like The Rock. Wow.
Yeah, just other dead people I can think of. Isaac Cappy is still alive.
No, see,
George Floyd is still alive.
But see, no, here's the difference. George Floyd, I could care less if he's alive or dead because he was, from what I understand, he was a menace to society. Whether you want to make a monument or make a gold casket for the guy, that's absolutely crazy. Isaac Cappy,
yeah.
He was a good guy trying to alert everybody about all the pedophilia stuff going on in Hollywood. And again, the circumstances around his death are crazy. As I told you, I don't understand why he would want, because he wanted to get the information out. And even if he's still alive, he would still speak in the truth, letting people know that was his mission. So I don't understand how he could be alive and not hear nothing out of him anymore.
This is just like Seth Rich, the Democrat guy that knew too much with the DNC. Seth Rich is still alive.
But if, again, here's another person that apparently knew too much, why would they say that he's dead? And then if he is alive, we don't hear nothing from him because he's another guy that my whole goal in life is to let the public know about the truth. Right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why they think the conspiracy theory that he got killed because he was about to unleash all this information that would put all these other people potentially in prison.
This could be what he's doing behind the scenes. There's so much that we really don't even know. I mean, do you know Julian Assange is not in prison or anything anymore?
What? I thought he was.
No, the mainstream media don't want to tell you that when he gets out or he's out of he was living in the embassies, which was his safe zone.
Right, and it was supposed to be extradited. Wasn't London supposed to give him up or something?
Yeah, and I've also been hearing that the Queen of England now is Princess. Oh, and it's Queen Diana.
Queen Diana?
I shouldn't say Princess because there's no more Princess Diana. There's a Queen Diana.
See, now, from what I know from the media, she was a soft-spoken, beautiful woman that was doing decent work throughout the world, helping children. I don't see how she could be in the background. We don't hear anything from her.
She's been in hiding all these years, waiting to come out to be queen.
What do you think Prince Harry will think about that?
I don't know.
How could you leave your children?
Harry might be the good one, and William might be like his dad.
Well, we know the Markle lady, she's a piece of work.
Yeah, but Harry just did that, I think. But
wow,
there's so much going on. We really don't even know what's up and what's down. And our FBI director, Christopher Wray.
Now, see, I have trouble with a good guy. Everything I've seen on that guy, he is a total tard. He doesn't do anything. He wouldn't answer any questions. He skates the issues. And I can't keep control of my agents. You're the director of the FBI. You set precedents. You set memos. You do things that make these agents do your work, just like the Department of Justice. Again, everything that we know about these people and the FBI or the alphabet soup agencies, as they like to be called now, are doing all sorts of crazy stuff. But so you're telling me that the director of the FBI is a good guy. He's a white hat.
Yep. He's cleaning up. They got to bring integrity back to our FBI. We lost it under Comey and all those other guys.
Yeah, but the whole thing is that the FBI was set up in the beginning of J. Edgar Hoover, used it to weaponize his administration and take his political opponents out, just like Zelensky in the Ukraine. They all follow suit. They all wash their backs.
But we've always trusted the FBI that they had the highest integrity.
Never. Seriously, J. Edgar Hoover, he was a bad guy.
Oh, yeah,
he was spying on actors and stuff like that, and anybody that got in their way. So I don't know. That's a tough one, but can't say it can't be wrong. I mean, because everything what we've been finding out from the entire history of the Earth and civilization is completely.
Oh, we don't even know anything we've been told is the truth.
Right.
It's really hard to tell anymore.
I know, it's nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. That's crazy.
I'm just wanted to tell you about the $21 trillion check. Have I said that?
No, you haven't mentioned it. $21 trillion check to who?
The World Alliance is behind writing the largest check ever to the United States of America to solve their national debt. We're like 28 trillion in debt, and we're cleaning up our debt, and the Federal Reserve is done.
Now, see, the last time I heard that, presidents were executed.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get rid of the Reserve or the CIA or something to that effect. And that's the other thing that blew me away is that that President Tricky Dick.
Oh, Nixon had to take us off the gold standard because we didn't have enough hard assets in gold and silver to back the trillions that the Fed Reserve was just printing out of thin air.
See,
and what else is going to be behind this is, who owns the Federal Reserve? The Rothschilds, the cabal owns the Federal Reserve. What? It has the word federal in his name. It isn't even a government agency.
Yeah, he's the Rothschilds.
The more you listen to them, as can be. Yeah,
the more evil they are. And the latest I heard something, he owns an island in the Antarctic that no one's allowed to go to, and that brings me up with Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh,
right.
Epstein Island might be child's play compared to Antarctica.
Oh my goodness! See, there's just so much going on. It's so hard to believe, and it's so hard to even think that we are. I don't know, and going in the right direction, or it's all falling apart.
And what you and I are saying is, okay, some people are really starting to wake up, and they're listening a little bit to what we're saying. They're like, hey, it isn't just these two guys talking this stuff. They're hearing it in other places. Then they say, well, they have to use their own discernment a little bit. They want to hear this, they want to hear that. They're probably coming in the middle. Those are the kind of people that are awakening up right now. They're starting to listen to us and say all this stuff. They know something crazy is going on.
Wow.
So I think this is part of the whole thing, is the Great Awakening for people to know.
Well, it's amazing because of the awakening. It could mean so many different things, like understanding that climate change is a hoax. They're just playing on our fears, distracting us. Bill Gates releasing malaria mosquitoes over Florida.
Yeah.
You see that? Millions of mosquitoes were released from a helicopter.
Awakening isn't just politics. We're talking awakening to everything that's been allowed to be going on around us.
Right. Well, and then Bill Gates, the latest is he's buying out Bud Light.
He's in charge of all these vaccine patents.
And he bought Heineken. So I guess anybody drinking beer now is going to have that mRNA technology in that too. So we're poisoning ourselves.
Bill Gates is buying breweries?
Yes, he bought all the shares from Bud Light. And then on top of it, a few months or a year ago, he bought Heineken.
I did hear he was like one of the largest shareholders of the Heineken company. So he has all the voice to say.
But that's just like BlackRock and State Street and all these places, because they have such an influence on them that they listen to what they want or they don't get the dividends.
So majority shareholders has to say so.
Oh my goodness. See, it's getting so crazy and so polluted out here. It really is. And I still hate to say that poor Maui. And you said, but you were mentioning to me that they know where the children are?
Yes. And Phil had just said the missing children in Maui are safe.
Oh, I hope they're safe. I hope they come out.
Didn't say much else about it other than they're safe.
Wow.
So, the number's in like the thousands.
Well, we have the school board saying 2,000 children are missing.
At least just the children.
And then you get the runaround from the mayor who says he doesn't know anything and only 100 people died, but we don't know how many are missing. And it's just, things just don't add up. It's not common sense. It's not how things should be. Going back to the blue rooftops and the blue awnings are left perfectly fine, but everything around it's been melted. I mean,
from the DEW deflection.
And that brings me to, I watched the media sensationalize the Burning Man people. They're stuck. They have to remain in place, and
that rain.
Even the media came out and said they're doing cannibalism there. What, dengue fever is coming back because of that, and I mean, just all sorts of stuff. And then you go watch the people are actually there to go, no, we're doing just fine here. We like to go home because it's a muddy mess, but we prepared for this stuff. The Burning Man isn't a cakewalk, right? I mean, it's hot, it's dusty, and its artists are coming out and they're embracing humankind and the human spirit to take care of each other. Yet the media is just trying to give you the wrong signal. And then you got all upset. It goes, one guy died in Burning Man. Oh my God, we need to investigate. In Chicago, on an average weekend, 23 people are killed. No, don't worry about them.
Yeah,
but the one guy died in Burning Man, we have to launch an investigation. We shouldn't have all these people celebrating that.
And how many people are there actually for the 7 days?
There's like 70, 80,000 people.
And that one person probably had a heart attack or died of something.
I heard that in the whole history of Burning Man, there's been 5 deaths.
Oh.
People die of heart attacks, strokes. I mean, all sorts of crazy. I mean, we want to start talking about how many people are dying of COVID and how many are going to die of the new COVID that came out. Because apparently everybody's getting the new COVID, and Biden wants more vaccinations because we want something to really work this time. And
Biden will be out shortly. He'll be out real soon.
Just like you even hear everybody at work, we got COVID, we can't work. I mean, what is going on with these people?
You got people at work with COVID already?
Yeah, they're saying they got COVID and they can't work now. And then, HR is saying they got to have mask mandates for 10 days. It's like, I don't know.
I thought those PCR tests were considered false positives. Junk.
I'm sure they are, but just like the mask, you got to wear a mask because that will protect you. And we better go get some more plexiglass because COVID doesn't like plexiglass. Can't go anywhere near it.
It's like kryptonite. It just bounces off.
Can't be indoors, but you can go inside a tent outside and you're protected. Really? People, open your eyes up. This is getting crazy. They want to do a shutdown. They want to get mail-in ballots again. And the whole thing is, it's amazing how COVID's rearing its ugly head and we're getting towards another election.
It's the mainstream media, and I think you don't watch mainstream media hardly at all.
No, sometimes I might get something on Fox, but very rarely. I just don't do anything.
You get all your information now from real podcasters with real facts.
Yes.
That's going to be
Roman Baklava from the
media.
Epic Times. I listen to that.
Oh, yeah.
I'd listen to that guy more than anybody else because he doesn't give his opinion. He's giving you facts and then leaving it up to us to figure out what's going on. Do more research, get more angles, figure this out.
Just like you and I are shooting a whole bunch of facts, and they can go to Phil Godlewski and follow him too.
Yes, you need to listen to him, and that will open your eyes to open up more, go down that rabbit hole. But look, dispel what he's trying to say or prove what he's trying to say. I mean, you have the internet. It's what it's there for. You either use it for good or bad.
It is the new.
But you have to put a filter on because you can't just, believe everything that everybody wants to say. Like Kathy Griffin, who want to listen to that crazy lady? She looks crazy too. She looks like Bozo the Clown.
Oh my goodness, she's.
Oh my! Wow! Just the craziness coming out of that.
Well, there's a couple other things that I was going to tell you about with the.
Back to the check, the $21 trillion.
Yeah.
So that will get rid of the Federal Reserve, and that's going to open up the door for the rainbow money.
We're going to have the U.S. going to have their new currency is going to be the rainbow currency because it's going to have a lot of color to it, like some of the other currencies. But yes, and it's going to be asset backed. The rainbow currency is coming out. This is a worldwide event. The Federal Reserve is going to be loaning the banks their money. I mean, the Treasury, the Federal Reserve is done. The check is coming to the U.S. Treasury from the World Alliance. We're getting the 21 trillion to wipe out our notes. Our Treasury is going to be in charge.
Okay.
Of the money and the mints and the banks and everything.
Now, just to clarify, the World Alliance is not the WHO and all these other people that are trying to do the, you know what I'm saying? Who's the World
The World Alliance is the leaders from all the countries around Earth. So we're talking with, Putin and Xi Jinping and, India's President Modi, Bolsonaro of Brazil. Let me think of some other big countries. Yes, we want the countries to be able to take care of themselves instead of the Rothschilds owning all the banks around the world.
Yeah, putting their influence.
Yeah, they're going to have their own currencies and their money. Let them take care of themselves. We've always been the world's police ever since the 1900s or whatever. Call the U.S. Let all these countries be their own sovereignty and take care of themselves. We're looking at, initially, the World Alliance has agreed to no more wars. And it's kind of hard for me to say, but we're looking at world peace.
Well, we need world peace.
Yes.
Because all these other presidents we've ever had, they use that to get the defense contractors more money, which is Halliburton, General Dynamics,
yep.
Boeing, all these places. And that's one of the main reasons they want to keep the war going in the Ukraine, where I would think that that's a war. We need to stop that. We need to have peace. We need to have a ceasefire. We need something. But I hear no one doing any of that.
And Trump said this months ago. I could put an end to the Ukraine-Russian conflict within 24 hours if I was president.
And you would think that the world leaders would want that.
Yeah.
I mean, because the alternative is that they piss Putin off too much. He's going to send some nukes. And that's going to start a whole different ballgame.
He's right now. Have you heard that lately?
He's been talking for the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And again, as just you and I, we have no control over that. We can't do anything. We got work to do. We got, and that's...
Well, it's like fear is one of the strongest emotions to freak people out. Fear. And you look at the other side of fear. You either have the fear emotion or a love emotion. And which one is stronger?
Well, I think love is stronger because that's the natural order of things. So it has to be. It's just amazing that we're in this crazy predicament where everything's upside down and turned around, and you really have to look and really do your homework to try to find out what's going on. But again, we're just regular old citizens, just you and I talking, and we're trying to let other people understand what's going on because others are oblivious to what's really happening. Like people here in Oregon, they're wearing masks left and right.
Already.
Oh, my COVID, I got to wear a mask. And it's like, really, people, get over yourselves. This is just terrible.
I forgot a few more that I was telling you about who's alive and who's passed. I told you about Chester Bennington from
Lincoln Park.
Yep.
See, that's...
you don't think...
I find that hard to believe because he's another guy that... why would he do that?
I know. Steve Jobs, you think that he would stage his death? Steve Jobs is alive.
But I don't understand why...
I know, we can't understand. That's where the disclosure is going to come out and tell us. Wouldn't we love it if Steve Jobs and all his genius is still alive?
I don't know.
I know. I'm just telling you some of this stuff, Chester Bennington, his dad is Podesta, the guy that was in the Obama administration.
See, but again, that one, I don't believe that either because from what I understand, Bennington's father was a detective that helped children. He has nothing to do with Podesta. They might look alike, but they're not. So, again, but that gives us reason to look and to find more information because we need more clarification.
We do our research and we do our digging. And
Yep. All right. Well, I don't know. That's so much to take in, and this will at least give us a chance to do some homework, do some fact finding to prove or disprove some of these things that Phil Godslewski is saying. But definitely check out Phil Godslewski 2.0 on Rumble, and we can go from there. Crazy that this stuff, it's
incomprehensible of what transformation and change is coming to our Earth.
Yes.
We can't even...
and we haven't even touched on all these crazy alien sightings now and more spaceships. And then not to change subject because we need to do a podcast on it, but I heard that the CIA is actually doing some alien abductions and they're trying to do that Project Bluebeam. They're trying to,
we could do a whole show on CIA and their MK Ultra and everything else.
Yes. And all the different projects that's been coming out. But people's heads are blowing up listening to this stuff. I mean, seriously, there's so much craziness. And it's so easy for them to say, oh, they're conspiracy theorists. They're full of it. They don't even know what they're talking about.
Well,
problem
we're
is
lunatics.
Problem is that Obama wasn't the greatest president. And there's a lot of stuff happening in this world that we have no clue because we have blinders on. And it's designed that way because we have so much work to do just to keep our households in order. Mm-hmm. We don't have time to listen to this and all this craziness. So that's why it's good talking to you and getting our elusive truth out there, enlightening ourselves because without that, we might as well be ostriches and put our head in the sand and just let come what happens. So I thank you for showing up and giving me some info, and I can't wait to talk to you soon and find out what's going on.
Well, I'm right with you there, Rich, all the time, and I'll keep you posted.
Awesome. Well, with that, keep your vibrations up, keep that love going, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, you take care.
Okay,
all right, bye-bye.
Yes, indeed.
Now, you got to admit, that was definitely interesting. Larry has a lot of stuff that he says that, whoo. But then again, like I said, some of the stuff he says is true. Again, welcome to Clown World. So with that, we're going to do a little piece on Obama. We talked about him earlier. Russell Brand will do a much better job of explaining. He really is. He's not a very good guy, and you'll find out. But have a listen. And more importantly, go to Russell Brand on YouTube. Watch his videos. Amazing stuff. He's got such a way with words, and he's got a crack research team that gives him all this information. Definitely worth the listen. But here you go. I'm bringing you Russell Brand. Hang on. Obama did what? So check him out on YouTube.
Tucker Carlson's interview regarding Barack Obama shows we live in a truly divided news space. But when analysing the record of former presidents, what should we be looking at? Their private lives or their record in office? Hello there, you 6.5 million Awakening Wonders. Thanks for joining me on this voyage to truth and freedom. You'll be aware of the viral video that Tucker did recently. Let me know in the comments if you saw it, if you care about it, if it was interesting to you. Some people thought it was good. Other people thought it shouldn't have been made because it's too salacious and it's an unreliable witness. Where do you stand on that subject? What we would like to offer you is that Barack Obama is still being used as a kind of hero in the Democrat Party movement, when perhaps there's a strong argument that he could be regarded, and I don't use this phrase lightly, as a war criminal, that his actions were criminal, literally under the Geneva Convention, that children died as a result of his decisions and actions, that drone strikes were undertaken, and activities that if we thought they were being done by Korea or Syria or Russia, we would be outraged by and be personally willing to put on the camo and go to war ourselves for. So let's have a look at what everyone else is talking about at the moment before analysing the reality of Barack Obama's record as a president.
You're just a guy who's in town for the night, and it sounds like you're looking to party.
Yeah. Pulled up in a bar outside, and there's this guy that's introduced to me as Barack Obama.
I suppose all of us are interested in the private lives of great figures and the idea that there might be more to them than meets the eye. And with such a significant and notable president as Barack Obama, it's just extraordinary, salacious, intriguing to even hear about him spoken of in this kind of context. Certainly there's a conversation to be had. Ex-owner Elon Musk called out Tucker Carlson for not providing objective evidence in allowing allowing a convicted fraudster to claim he had sex with Barack Obama on the tech mogul's social media platform. Assess for yourself, Carlson captioned the video, which has amassed nearly 40 million views as of Thursday. This is further evidence of a completely bifurcated news space with independent media on the rise, the previously unprecedented possibility that a story like this could be broadcast on this scale. And for us, also an opportunity to look at the greatness of Barack Obama and the idea that Barack Obama is still a figure that will be trotted out in order to maintain Biden's credibility as a president. Now, the reason that Barack Obama remains a significant political figure is precisely because Joe Biden is observably in decline, and associating him with Barack Obama is still a powerful boost to his image as a senescent occupant of the White House. But are people who deify Barack Obama overlooking some pretty crucial facts about his time in office, putting aside this viral video? Let's have a look. Now, as I've told you loads of times, I was super optimistic when Barack Obama came into office, but perhaps the defining aspect of his time in office was the financial crash of 2008. This was a seismic moment, not only for the presidency of Barack Obama, but for the world. In my view, we are still reeling from the consequences of that financial cataclysm, and it was an opportunity to reapportion wealth and re-establish the power of ordinary people versus corporate, financial, and globalist interests. But what actually happened in 2008? So let's have a look at a few bullet points of Barack Obama's time in office. He bailed out the banks in 2008 instead of course, bailing out ordinary people. He prosecuted more people under the Espionage Act than all previous presidents combined, and that's essentially silencing Americans who criticize American foreign policy or American deep state, notably Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, both prosecuted under the Espionage Act. But perhaps most significantly of all, there were 10 times more airstrikes in the covert war on terror during President Barack Obama's presidency than under his predecessor, George W. Bush. Obviously, because of Iraq, we all think of George W. Bush and Dick Cheney and Wolfowitz and Rumsfeld, whose names are synonymous with war undertaken for profit to capture resources, a war that was delegitimized by the failure to find WMDs. And to imagine that Barack Obama conducted more covert airstrikes than that administration is surprising and still feels at odds with how we perceive Barack Obama. During his presidency, Obama approved the use of 563 drone strikes that killed approximately 3,797 people. In fact, Obama authorized 54 drone strikes alone in Pakistan during his first year in office. One of the first CIA drone strikes under President Obama was at a funeral, murdering as many as 41 Pakistani civilians. That's extraordinary because at that point we were still in the euphoria of the election of Barack Obama, truly believing this was an opportunity for hope and change. We had not yet had our expectations damped down by the events of 2008 and the revelation that it doesn't really matter who you vote for. You are primarily going to get a system that serves corporate interests, financial interests, military, industrial, complex interests. But to know that still in that euphoric honeymoon period, 41 innocent people were murdered as a result of Barack Obama's decisions shows you that really we were in a kind of dream, in a kind of delusion. It was business as usual. The deep state were able to conduct the kind of operations that they typically conduct. The military industrial complex asserted the control that they're always able to assert. Nothing really significantly changed. Like Joe Biden told a room full of donors, nothing will essentially change. This, I think, is the thing we have to remember most of all. We get caught up in the soap opera of these characters, and really the interests that they truly represent are uninterrupted by the democratic fluctuations in which we participate, or don't. Let me know in the comments if you agree. The following year, Obama led 128 CIA drone strikes in Pakistan that killed at least 89 civilians. Just 2 years into his presidency, it was clear that the hope that President Obama offered during his 2008 campaign could not escape US imperialism. What I kind of like about that sentence is the indication that there's no point blaming Barack Obama, that Barack Obama essentially is just on a conveyor belt of visual distractions that we temporarily are enamored of, while real power carries on behind the scenes. Let me know if you agree. The drone operations extended to Somalia and Yemen in 2010 and 2011, resulting in more destructive results. Under the belief that they were targeting Al-Qaeda, President Obama's first strike on Yemen killed 55 people, including 21 children. Inconceivable. Really important news. The sort of thing that we should be aware of. The kind of things that are just sort of brushed over. Much more important than anybody's private life. 21 children were murdered. And yet we think because, this happened in Pakistan, or it's just somehow we package it off as necessary and ultimately kind of irrelevant, don't we, if we're honest? Now, let's get back to this rather devastating and difficult news. 10 of which were under the age of 5. Additionally, 12 women, 5 of them pregnant, were also among those who were murdered in the strike. These blundered acts of murder by not only President Obama but the US government are morally reprehensible. I suppose this is the kind of information that we have to bear in mind when we look at the accepted stance with the current war between Ukraine and Russia. That America's role is to back brave Ukraine, and Ukraine are brave, for moral reasons, for humanitarian reasons. How can that be the case when a president still regarded as a hero participated in the murder of women and children? This is beyond the culpability of individuals like Barack Obama. He becomes, I have to say, kind of irrelevant because the momentum of this system is so potent and powerful that even dead children are just regarded as almost irrelevant shrapnel and collateral damage in the operations of this unforgiving system. How can we begin to believe that any war that America backs is just? Even more civilian casualties came out of Afghanistan throughout Barack Obama's time in office. In 2014, Obama began removing troops currently deployed in the country. However, instead of this action by the president being one in pursuit of peace and stability in the region, it only acted as an opportunity to drastically increase air warfare. Afghanistan had war rained upon them by US bombardment, with the administration viciously dropping 1,337 weapons on Afghanistan in 2016. In total that year, the Obama administration dropped 26,171 bombs, drone or otherwise, across 7 countries: Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, Somalia and Pakistan. The US, in cooperation with its allies, including the Afghan government, killed 582 civilians on average annually from 2007 to 2016. Most people's perception of Barack Obama does not include statistics like that. If we imagine for a while that Russia were conducting those kind of military activities, and as far as I know, they are. Certainly, they are currently being vilified for their criminal invasion of Ukraine, and no one is countenancing that point. Many of us try to explain the recent history and indeed 20th century history that possibly contributed to the current conflict and the way that American interests benefit. But this kind of, if not egregious, then certainly profligate bombing of a variety of countries under one of the most sort of popular and least controversial presidents. I know a lot of you guys don't like Barack Obama because Democrats and because of your kind of political persuasion. But broadly speaking, Barack Obama is now a sort of celebrity, isn't he? He's Netflix shows and that kind of thing. And when you see him on stuff, he's cool and chatty. But this is a piece of reality that many of us are not willing to countenance. A reality that really we should be looking at and addressing. With the exception of the wars themselves, the claim that former President Barack Obama is a war criminal also lies within the Double Tap initiative. Double Tap drone strikes are as disturbing as they sound. These attacks are follow-up strikes on first responders as they rush to the bombed area trying to assist any survivors. That's a level of mendacity that's difficult to incorporate into the image of Barack Obama as a hero that's brought on to make Joe Biden more electable. Isn't that kind of information enough to help us to revise our systems, to recognize that what's required is radical change, that the distinctions between the two parties and successive presidents isn't significant enough? If this is the kind of thing that's deemed acceptable business as usual, surely business as usual is precisely what needs addressing. In 2012, an attack on the Shawal Valley aimed at Taliban commander Sadiq Nur reportedly killed up to 14 people in a double-tap drone strike. These attacks are both morally and legally reprehensible as they are conscious acts of murder against civilians, which is, again, this, from any other entity, would be used as legitimization to criminalize an entire state, wouldn't it? If someone came out behind a podium, with the Stars and Stripes and the Eagle and everything, listen, guess what they're doing in Syria or Iraq or Russia? They do this thing called double-tap strikes. They actually bomb an area, and then when the first responders come to help the victims, many of whom are children under 5 and pregnant women, they bomb them as well. You go, well, actually, I'm willing to participate in a war against them. Give us the stuff. I'll go. That needs to be stopped. Oh, you don't need to go anywhere because it's happening here. And in fact, the person that's making those decisions is being sold to you as a hero. And again, I'm not naive enough to suggest that Barack Obama is somehow the generator of that kind of malevolence. He's rather just a temporary occupant of an office that demands that in order to support the interests that truly run America. That's what we're saying again and again on this channel. We are presented with spectacle. We are presented with distraction. The price of even our inhibited freedom is a machine that murders children and says there's nothing wrong with it. A machine that sells us poisoned food and tells us there's nothing wrong with it. That props up pharmaceutical industries and energy industries that couldn't operate under their own financial capital but require your taxpayer dollars to subsidize and fund them and tell us that there's nothing wrong with it. There are so many more questions that require require asking before blithely accepting some of these people as heroes. Drone strikes conducted by the United States during a 5-month-long campaign in Afghanistan caused the deaths of unintended targets nearly 9 out of 10 times, leaked intelligence documents suggest. 9 out of 10 times, most of the time, should probably not happen. Not a reliable model, is it? In my recent conversation with Sam Harris, when he talks about terrorists and their potential ecstatic state when conducting jihad, there's a kind of fetishization of the presumed evil of religious ideology, but secularism leads to murder of this nature, just under the cold rational dispatch, collateral damage, no funeral, no need for redemption, culpability or explanation. So the idea that some types of violence are worse than others is one that has to be resolved. And of course, Daniel Hale, the whistleblower who revealed that information, is celebrated as a hero around the world in prison under the Espionage Act that Barack Obama used more than any other president in history. These drone strikes make a strong case for categorizing Obama as an international war criminal. The 1949 Geneva Conventions, ratified by the United Nations, explicitly provides protections for not only the wounded, but also for medical and religious personnel, medical units, and medical transports. Article 8 of the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court states that internationally directing attacks against personnel, installations, material units, or vehicles involved in humanitarian assistance or peacekeeping missions in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations is classified as a war crime. These classifications, these words, they're meant to mean something. You know, of course, that America could not appeal to the International Criminal Court to condemn the actions of Russia in Ukraine because they would know that they'd begin a conversation where they would have to say, we have done the same, we have done worse. This is the truth of American foreign policy, the influence of the military-industrial complex and the set of interests that the American government truly represent. This is the truth of a hero, albeit a partisan hero like Barack Obama, that they represent those kind of interests. That if we were to obey the Geneva Convention, which obviously we're just going to ignore, then you'd have to say, no, Barack Obama, look, is just literally a war criminal according to that definition. You just have to dispatch with that definition in order to maintain the heroic status of Barack Obama, which people are willing to do. No one is willing to look at reality. We're not willing to say, well, look, this is the cost of these systems. It's not benefiting you. You're not benefiting from that. These people are not a threat to you. You have to be convinced that they're a threat to you in order to facilitate that. Whose interests are ultimately advanced by that kind of bombing, by that kind of murder of children? Let me know in the chat and comments. The law also states intentionally launching attack in the knowledge that such attack will cause incidental loss of life or injury to civilians also constitutes war crimes for the guilty party. Through the drone strike program and double tap attacks, there is no question that former President Obama and his administration violated international humanitarian law. Obama's symbolic significance cannot outshine his relationship with the imperial endeavors of the American empire. And yet it seems to the Democratic Party they do exactly that. Barack Obama is still regarded as a hero. In order for him to be regarded as a hero, you have to just wipe away the Geneva Convention. You have to completely ignore the murder of children. You have to do that. It's impossible, isn't it, to combine those facts? And even if you put aside the idea that Obama is somehow personally culpable, although, you know, evidently he was the president, I don't know how much higher up the chain you would need to get, you have to accept that the system itself is in need of radical re-evaluation. And these are the kind of things that should be at the forefront of our mind. And this is what we should be demanding of any democracy, or indeed any nation worthy of the name. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the chat? If you like this video, have a look at either of these. Turn on the notification bell and subscribe. But more important than that, if you can, please stay free.
Well, I told you Obama wasn't that good. I think he's just a shiny turd, but that's just my opinion. So hopefully you go out and you do more research and you find out for yourself how bad he was. So with that, I'm going to play a little music. Tom MacDonald and Adam Calhoun has dropped a new album, The Brave 2. Amazing stuff. I'm telling you, these guys are awesome independent artists. They know what they're doing. They have a good message. Awesome time to be living and listening to this music. So here we go with Tom MacDonald, Adam Calhoun, and Dax, Black and White.
Hop in the truck, 10 of my buddies are already drunk. We don't go nowhere that doesn't have liquor and cigarettes, riding mechanical bulls in the club. We like to hunt, leave with a gun. Come back tomorrow, we covered in blood with a bucket of guts. We all tougher the and we pop in the clutch, we ain't stuck in the mud. I'm the white boy with a baseball bat, bunch of face tattoos and a NASCAR hat in a backyard like scrapyard. Got a glass jar full of tobacco that's blacker than asphalt. Rolling with hundreds of crackers who acting like animals, they cannot handle their alcohol. We the white boys from the backwoods and the bad hoods and the trailer park trash that pack guns. When I was younger, they taught me to struggle and hustle like 200 bikers, and they were my brothers. We coming for blood and you running for cover, addicted to drugs in the gutter and drunker than anyone. Leaving the club, we go dumber than thugs. We got mullets and putters and multiple gunners that coming in Hummers. You under the rubber, you'll never recover. Chain smoking, my lungs hurt, my neck red, got sunburns. Bumping Eminem, we all know the words. Bunch of white boys flipping hella birds. Hillbilly really don't care if you like them. Little bit of moonshine fire inside them. Kill him in a minute, don't care who's fighting. You don't wanna trip on the kids of Vikings. Camo and mullets and cowboy hats out in public. Got ammo stashed in my cousins and cash in addicts and cupboards. They all diss and we don't listen, can't hear it no more. We gone fishing, they gone missing. I told y'all before. I be on some white people hanging out the window of a truck, yelling, I don't give a white people. Every time they see me pulling up, they be like, oh my God, he be on some white people.
Jumping out the plane, no parachute, so I'ma get the sooner. I ain't learned from school, always ditch Ferris Bueller. Screw your little truck, my square body over there's cooler. Every white boy riding with me over there, shooters. I'm the white boy with the monster pump. Sit shotgun, but I pop the truck. The Northern, a monster off the jump. I'm up, I rock a lots of guns. This ain't soccer, but watch him run. Shoot him in the lung, need oxygen. Huffing blood like he up and does. Talk too much till his coughing shuns. I'm never gonna back up too much ammo. We got hammered, used to battle. Had my fights right on the gravel. Back in the day, we used to handle like men, but now we're canceled. Look at us like states for cancer. Look at them like pull your pants on. Dumbass kids ain't got no answer. Looked up to dudes with tattoos and rap music, bad moves and abuse in my past, acting stupid. I used the bad news for the gas to keep moving. I made it where I'm at. Now you rather see me losing. All my guys got tattoos on their face. They did their time, they got jammed. What the hell's a blue check? They ain't got no Instagram. Ask around, everyone knows. They might think that I care, but I don't. I'll be out some
white people hanging out the window of a truck, yelling, I don't give a white people. Every time they see me pulling up, they be like, oh my God, he be on some white people.
Yes, segregated, but I'm still in the mix. I've been with Timer before he got cancer for speaking the truth out the world and exposing it for what it actually is. I see race as an issue, I'm running it back to the government to tell them this is a democratic, liberated, conservative, patriarchy dipped in action, affirmative hit song. Bet they still cut me a check. State that I'm in as my mind is way deeper than color. I ain't think I'm blue versus red. I'm in control, consider that I'm carrying more than you know. One in the chamber that's ready to blow. Right at you push through claiming you won't. I'ma keep praying that you get exposed. I promise. I'm not abiding by rule that you set for me. I'm not that mad at the past. I mean, it was only a couple of centuries. Well, actually, I'm pissed, but won't let that be my identity. So on behalf of all blacks, I forgive and don't want to be enemies. Just say you're sorry and talk to me nice. This is comedic. If you get offended, that's a reflection of your own life and how you failed to live it right. So it's not black versus white, it's wrong versus right. Cause color is just a result of these multiple factors that we didn't choose. I mean, mom, dad, race, religion, things we're born into. Generational curses that get undone once we undo moves. See life from a different view, beyond our own skewed, manipulated by the news. Crude, true things they use to confuse the masses. Put us in social classes, separated by percentages paid for taxes. Income brackets, clothes, cars, shoes, size of asses. I bet they're trying to blackmail me once I black out all these demographics and push past the stereotypical average and get blackballed and they cut all my traffic.
Oh my God, he be on some black people hanging out the window of the truck, screaming, I don't give a black people. Every time they see me pulling up, they be like, oh my God, he be on some white people.
I hope you enjoyed that. That was Tom McDonald, Adam Calhoun, and Dax Black and White. Good stuff, good stuff. I hope you liked it. Anyway, The Brave 2, it's out now. The new album, Tom McDonald and Adam Calhoun. I'm telling you, awesome songs. Gives you hope in this crazy clown world. So with that, I'd like to thank you for listening to The Elusive Truth with Rich and Larry. And I hope you keep looking for that elusive truth. We love you guys. You're awesome. Keep them high vibrations up and watch out for yourself and your neighbors. That's all we have these days. The government's not helping you, and you better start learning that, or, well, let's say history does repeat itself. So, love you guys. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.